and this one is in chapter 2, mechanical engineering practice, and the topic for today's lecture is on utility. So as usual, we cover CO1 and PO1 for this topic. All right, so lesson outcome for this topic. At the end of this lecture, students should be able to first explain the plumbing system, hot and cold water supply. Number 2, describe the purpose of sanitary system. And number 3, identify solid waste collection system in the building, right? So first one, cold and hot water supply. First, we will cover the introduction, then method of supply for cold as well as hot, then types of pipes necessary for cold and hot water supply. Right. So first one, cold water supply is it could be direct or indirect. So the first one here is direct cold water supply. Okay. So please read this description on your own because I'm gonna explain it by showing this picture. Okay. So this is the figure of direct cold water supply for a domestic house like the one that we have. Okay. So the main pipe comes from the town main or a local authority water supply. Okay, then it goes through the ground level, all right, because we normally place this main pipe on the ground level. Then from that main supply, it goes to the main valve, all right, and then goes to water meter. Then it goes again to the underground and enter the house. Then the first thing, there's a pipe directly from supply to the kitchen, okay, basin as well as the water supply. Sorry, WC. WC stands for water closet. Then it goes to the bathroom, okay, for the second floor. First floor. Then the rest will go to the cold water feed system. Okay, and from cold water feed system, then the pipe goes for the hot water cylinder, right? So this is called direct cold water supply. Direct means the water supply from the water supply pipe goes direct to kitchen, bathroom, as well as the toilet, okay? And only a small amount of that goes to cold water feed system and hot water cylinder. All right. Next one is indirect cold water supply. Okay. So please read this description on your own. I'm going to explain it by using the picture. All right. So this is the picture of indirect cold water supply. Actually, the one that we normally have at home is belong to this type. Okay. Indirect cold water supply. So similar to direct cold water supply, the pipe comes from the main supply. Then we got supposedly we should got this so-called gooseneck here. This gooseneck is actually a shape of a pipe, okay, a little bit bent. Okay, we will touch on the purpose of gooseneck later. All right. Then the pipe goes to the main valve as well as the water meter, and it must be above the ground so that we can see the water meter. Then it goes to underground again, then enter the house. Okay, it goes to the kitchen, right? And the main pipe will go to the water system here, and from water system then it goes to the toilet and bathroom, right? So the main difference is that the supply go to the kitchen and the rest goes to water system. And the water that we got from toilet and bathroom actually comes from this water system. Okay, so that's why when you got the a problem with the water supply, first thing that you notice is that there is no water supply to the kitchen, but you got water supply in the toilet and bathroom, because those water in the toilet and bathroom actually come from water system. All right, so we got Isa here. Okay, so that is a indirect cold water supply. All right. Next one, this one is schematic diagram for plumbing system in high-rise building. So high-rise building, almost similar to indirect cold water supply. So it comes from the main pipe, then go to the meter, okay, and then it got a suction tank, all right, okay, to pump the water. Then we got this so-called injap sehala here. In case we got problem with the pump, then we got supply direct through this injap sehala into the service pipe, and then it goes to the storage tank 1, or perhaps it's also got storage tank 2. Okay, and then from that storage tank, then it goes to the main valve as well as meter into every unit in that multi-story building. Okay, so that's how the supply for the high-rise building. All right, move on. Advantages and disadvantages of direct and indirect cold water supply. So first one, let's take a look at the direct cold water supply. Advantages is cheaper, direct circulation, and less pipe work and smaller storage system. But disadvantages, first, no water storage. Second, pressure depends on the pressure in the piping, okay, the main supply pipe. All right, next one, for indirect cold water supply, advantages, constant pressure. Okay, second, if any problem on the main pipe, we have water storage. And number three, fittings supplied with water from the cistern are prevented from causing contamination of the drinking water by back siphonage. We will touch later on what is back siphonage. And these advantages of indirect cold water supply, first, large water tank is needed. And second, because of the water tank, overflow problem may occur. All right, overflow means the water from the water tank may overflow, okay, out through the ceiling, and most of the time that water tank placed above the bathroom. Okay, so the water is overflow, okay, from that water tank into the bathroom. All right. Let's take a look at back siphonage and water hammer. So back siphonage occurs when there is a large demand on the water main and water is drawn back from pipes inside the building. Fall water from the submerged inlet will be siphoned back into the main, meaning that back siphonage is sucking water from our house into the water main, okay, because of the large demand. All right, so that is a siphonage. There's a way to stop that. We will touch on that later. All right. Second one is water hammer. It's caused by pressure developing during sudden changes in water velocity or sudden stoppage of flow. The result is a banging sound. And to prevent this is a gooseneck. It's formed on the pipe to relieve stresses on the pipe and valve. So this gooseneck, again, you know, the shape of the pipe, which is a bend like a goose. Goose is angsa, leher angsa, dia bend. Okay, so this bend shape of the pipe is to avoid, first, back siphonage. Second, to avoid water hammer. Right, so that is the purpose of gooseneck. But I don't see any gooseneck in our water supply. Hopefully in the future, if we are having this kind of problem, back siphonage and water hammer, then remember the solution is gooseneck. All right, move on. So valve used for water supply, okay, it could be a globe valve, all right, like this one. Then this one is drain valve, okay, and this one is called gate or sluice valve. Okay, so there is many type of valve depending on the pressure of the water. Right, if the pressure is not really high, then we may use this type of valve, sluice or gate valve. All right, move on. Centralized system of the hot water heating system. So hot water could be using centralized. This type of water supply normally used for multi-story building, right? So this is called direct system of hot water supply. So hot water supply could be direct or indirect too, similar to the cold water supply, but the piping is definitely different, all right? I mean, the pipe for cold water is different than the hot water supply, right? So in this example, is the direct system of hot water supply. So water supply comes from the water supply tank. This is cold water supply, all right? So cold water supply goes to heater. And another part of the heating system is called boiler. Boiler is like a big kettle, okay? Big kettle to store the hot water. And that hot water will pump into the piping system, and part of that will go to the kitchen as well as bathroom and toilet. Okay, and the overflow pipe is provided so that that hot water, if not in use, will goes back to the cold water supply tank here. So it's called direct hot water supply because the hot water is supplied direct from heater to the kitchen, toilet, and bathroom. Okay. Then this one is called indirect hot water supply. So indirect hot water supply, similar to the direct hot water supply, the water supply, cold water supply comes from the water supply tank, then goes to heater, then goes to the boiler. And from heater and boiler, it goes first thing to the expansion and feed system first. And this feed system normally located above the bathroom or kitchen. And what hot water from this expansion and feed system then supply to the kitchen, toilet, and bathroom. And part of that will overflow back to the cold water supply tank. All right. So the difference between indirect and direct hot water supply is that indirect hot water supply, first thing from the heater and boiler, it goes to feed and it goes to the expansion and feed system first, and from this expansion and feed system, then it goes to kitchen, toilet, and bathroom, right? And this one is the indirect hot water supply to multi-story building. In this example, it's a 3-story building. Okay, so the cold water storage system supply water to the heater as well as the boiler. Okay, and then the hot water supply goes to the kitchen, toilet, and bathroom. Okay, and part of that also goes for the indirect hot water supply. All right, so indirect hot water supply goes to expansion and feed system first, then it goes to these radiators or towel rail. Okay, this radiator actually used for a country with winter season. You know, they need heater, so this hot water is supplied to this heater, right? And for us, we don't need this one. We using this part. So for us, cold water supply goes to the heater and boiler, and then okay, from that it goes to this secondary circuit to kitchen, toilet, and bathroom, right? So electric or gas water unit heater or hot water heating system. Okay, this may also supply instead of the boiler. All right. So for a small building like 3-story, may using unit water heater, like the one that we have at home in our bathroom. So that is called unit water heater. So this can save the boiler, okay, boiler space as well as the installation and maintenance, right? But for a very large building, it need to have centralized, which is using boiler, because in long run, for big and multi-story building, using boiler, okay, like this one, using boiler, this is boiler. Using boiler is much cheaper in long run, okay? All right, move on. So now we already touched on the cold water supply and then hot water supply, and now is on sanitary system in the building. And this system, the first one, is called Garchi system. Okay, so please read this on your own because I'm gonna explain this on the picture. So this is the picture of Garchi system. The exact name is Matthew Hall Garchi system because the inventor is Matthew Hall Garchi. But in short, we call it as Garchi system only, right? So this system actually using special sink unit. So this sink is placed in the kitchen, right? So this sink is connected to the refuse tank, and this refuse tank on the ground floor, we have refuse collection chamber. So all the rubbish in the building, which is using this Garchi system, is flushed through this special sink unit into this refuse collection chamber. And this waste will flow into the sewer system, and finally, of course, it goes to the um, uh, waste treatment plant. And part of that is sucked by this refuse tanker. So refuse tanker will suck the waste from this refuse collection chamber and dispose it in the waste treatment plant. Okay, so in Malaysia, we are very rarely using this one. If people did using this, perhaps for very luxury condominium, okay, because you know this system is very expensive to be maintained and installed, right? So this is the special sink unit for Matthew Hall Garchi system. As you can see, it's using a special kind of sink. So it got plug here. Yeah. So if we pull this plug, then we may place our rubbish, and definitely a kind of rubbish that we can dispose through this system is a soft rubbish, not hard rubbish like wood, stone, and plastic. All right. Otherwise, it will be blocked inside this piping system. Okay. Or in other words, we can only dispose organic rubbish only. All right. So this is also Garchi system, but this one is belong to a type called two pipe. And this system combine the piping from toilet. So this is toilet, water closet from the toilet, and from the kitchen. So for two pipe, first pipe is from the kitchen, second is from the toilet. So it's divide the pipe. This is to avoid the smell, smell from the toilet enter the kitchen. Okay. This one is a single stack Garchi system. So single stack is actually combine the pipe, okay, one pipe only, which is apply for both toilet and kitchen as well as bathroom. All right, so that is single stack. So remember, double stack or a two pipe system, divide the pipe, first pipe from the kitchen, second from the toilet and bathroom. Okay. Move on. This one is called sink grinder. Sink grinder may be incorporated or combined with the Garchi system because it's a grinder. It's grind the rubbish into small particle. Okay, so of course it's using grinder, and the grinder is actually placed below the sink. So if we want to dispose our rubbish, we pull the plug, then place our rubbish into this grinder, switch on the grinder to grind that rubbish or a waste into small particle. Then after a while, we may flush that, okay, flush the rubbish into the pipe. It could be single pipe or double pipe Garchi system. Okay, so that is sink grinder. Move on. Waste disposal system. Okay, so in our waste at home, we may got waste piping. So from our toilet as well as from our sink. Okay, so we got the so-called trap, all right, and water closet, all right. So the trap may be in the shape of PS or bottle, all right. Water closet could be S or P type. Okay, so remember WC stands for water closet. Right. So there is a problem with this waste disposal system in our water closet or in our trap. First is called self-siphonage. Okay, it's caused by a plug of water in the waste pipe causing siphonage of the trap. Second is called induced siphonage. It's caused by the discharge from one trap causing siphonage of another trap connected to the same waste pipe. Number three, capillary siphonage is caused by a piece of rag or string caught on the outlet of the trap will cause the loss of seal by capillary attraction. And number four, back pressure or compression is caused when the water flowing down a stack changes direction at the bend, which compresses the air in the pipe and forces out the trap water seal. Okay. So this is a diagram to show the loss of trap water seal. All right. So this is pipe from the top of the building, and this is the water closet. So when people upstairs flush, that cause the compressed air here, and that force the water out of the trap or the water closet, and this is called a loss of trap by back pressure or compression. For the capillary attraction, yeah, this is the shape of water closet, and if there is a piece of rag or string, so this big piece of rag or string, okay, that sucks the water inside this trap or water closet, and that action is called capillary attraction. Then another one is wavering out. Wavering out is due to the air from here, and it sucks the water into suck the water from this trap or water closet. Okay, and when there's air drawn out here, that create vacuum, and that vacuum sucks the water. Okay. And this one is called loss of trap water seal, all right, by self-siphonage. And this one is called induced siphonage. So induced siphonage is because there's several water closet combined together into a single pipe. So when one water closet flush, it may create partial vacuum from here, and that create the atmospheric pressure that sucking water from this water closet. Okay, so that is induced siphonage, right? So to avoid that problem, we have this anti-siphon trap. Okay, so this is actually a shape of the water closet or shape of a trap, and this one is called McAlpine resealing trap. This one is called Greivak resealing trap. This one is called Icona, all right, Icona, and this one is called anti-siphon trap. So these are the solution if we having the a problem with loss of water in the water closet or in the trap. Okay. All right, move on. This is a waste disposal system in the building, right? So before that, we need to know the categories of solid waste or refuse. First one is called domestic waste, comes from ashes, food, paper, bottles, etc. Second category is called commercial waste, which is a waste paper from office, stationery, catering waste, carton, etc. And the third category is called industrial waste. And this one is a waste material produced by industries, toxic, offensive, and dangerous. So remember, there are three categories of solid waste or refuse. And collection system in the building. Remember, for a very high building or multi-story building, we need a system so that we can dispose our waste without having going down and then up again. So can you imagine you are bringing your waste by using lift, and then people smell your waste, they see you are holding that waste. So imagine if you are living in like luxury condominium, then it's very inconvenient. So we civil engineer must provide collection system for the solid waste, so that very convenient for the occupants. They don't have to going down up for the purpose of dispose their waste. All they have to do just go to the collection system on their level. All right, then there is a many collection system that they may use. First is called refuse chute. Second, Garchi, we already touched on Garchi, okay, before this. Remember Matthew Hall Garchi system, it's using a special kind of sinks. Then a sink grinder may be incorporated into Garchi system. Then number 4 is called Technocum. Technocum is actually similar to refuse chute. We will touch on that later. And number 5, of course, a dustbin lah. So if that is a cheap collection system, then you don't have to install it. Just place the dustbin, right? So waste dumping method. There are 6 waste dumping. It could be sea dumping. We are no longer using this one. Okay, we thought that our sea can absorb all the rubbish, but not more. Okay, we now know that when we dispose our rubbish to the sea, the fish eat that rubbish. Some of that rubbish may be toxic, and in return we eat that fish, so that toxic goes to our body. So we don't want that. So no more sea dumping. Second, open land dumping. This one we still have this, but we know that now open land dumping can create more problem because of smell, because of the rat, rodent, and so on and so forth. So now we prefer this one, control landfill. Okay, in Kuching we use a control landfill now. It is open land dumping, but we control it by having a system to collect the so-called leachate. Leachate is a very toxic water, black in color, comes from the landfill, and we must collect that. Otherwise, if that liquid so-called leachate goes to the river, that will definitely contaminate the river, right? Number 4 is incinerator. We don't use this one because of the an incinerator produce smoke, and smoke is bad for our environment. We don't want that. And number 5, this is the system that most developed countries prefer, recycle. So they recycle almost everything, and hopefully in the future we can use this system. Okay. And number 6 is wastewater treatment plant. So our waste from the toilet and bathroom goes to the wastewater treatment plant. In the case that we have sewerage, right? So this is called a refuse chute for the waste disposal system in a multi-story building. So as you can see, this is a chute system, right? Or this chute may be placed inside the house. So when people want to dispose their rubbish, they just go to this inlet hopper. This is actually inlet hopper. They open this inlet hopper, place the rubbish inside this, and so the rubbish will fall down to the ground floor. And on the ground floor, we place the big dustbin here to collect all the rubbish. So you don't have to going up and down through the stair or by using lift for the purpose of disposing the rubbish. Okay, so this is refuse chute. So this is the diagram for the refuse chute. Okay, this is the refuse chute. So this is the pivot, and this is the hopper. So when we open this hopper, we place the rubbish. Then we let go of the rubbish so that the rubbish will fall down to the big dustbin on the ground floor. Okay. And Technocum is actually a refuse chute, but it's combined together several buildings into one collection chamber. So don't have the dustbin, because the refuse chute will goes to the underground. and several buildings will do the same thing, so that all these refuse should on the underground connected together into one collection chamber. So the lorry or the waste vehicle will suck this rubbish, okay, from one collection chamber. So that is called technocum. This one actually used in Sweden, but other countries is unknown to use this system. All right, the system is called technocum. All right, move on. Sanitary incineration. All right, we burn our rubbish, but not more. All right, because you know, when we burning, then will create smoke. Yeah, and that is bad for environment. All right, so I think that should be all for now. Okay, any question so far? Any question? Ada soalan? Jangan-jangan ada yang tidur kot. Okay, thank you, Senorita. No question from Senorita. No question from Iza. No question from Isra. No question from Trixie too. What about the others? No Sabrina, no question too. Shamira, no question. Lydia, no question too. Imelda, no question too. Margareta, no question. Tak ada soalan. Nazira pun tak ada soalan. Alicia, no question. Agnes, no question. Ishra, understand. Yeah, I hope you did understand. Okay. Please try some sample question paper to know whether you are really understand or not. Okay. All right. So I think that should be all for today. All right. Thank you for listening and thank you for your cooperation. All right. So as usual, I'm gonna upload this recorded video in our Google Classroom. You may also, all right, thank you, Senorita. You may also obtain the recorded video from other classes, like from class A and B for the lecture. You know, in case you want to see a different way, actually, I'm giving the same way of lecture to class A and class B too. All right, just in case you want to watch it. All right, you may get it from Google Classroom. And regarding the e-laboratory, remember group group D, we're going to have e-laboratory this afternoon on 2 o'clock, so be prepared on that. Okay, all right, so I think that should be all. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this. All right, thank you, Shamira. Thank you, Izan. Thank you, Melda. Thank you, No Sabrina. All right, thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Nazira, Margareta, Jesse. Thank you, Iza, Nurul Hana, Lydia, Ishra. All right, so okay, bye-bye.